Alright guys, this is for my good friends Mike and Susie down in Kenai, and I want to show you guys how to make some cool charts. So the first thing you need is data points, and what we want to do is after we get our data points is we want to see are they going up or are they going down. And the best way to do that is with a line chart. So it doesn't matter what Microsoft Office you have or Word you have, most of them have an insert chart kind of option, and from there you can edit in your data basically is what you need to do. So I'm just going to use, I need some data points, so I'm just going to use, I'm going to look at some of my numbers here. I kind of like these domestic violence numbers, so I'll go ahead, I see a nice rise, so I'm going to want to express that. I want to show that we're getting close to 64%. We're kind of at roughly 50% starting in July, so I'm going to basically use those numbers, and I'm going to go from scratch. I'm going to go to Word 2013. I also have Word 2010 or whatever it's called. I'm going to just go for a blank document. So here I am on a blank document, and what I'm going to do is go Insert, Chart. There we go. And remember I said line graph? So you can do columns, you can do pie charts, area, all that good stuff. We're going to go with a line. Okay. So what this will automatically do is kind of give you a dummy one, but then on top of that, it gives you kind of some information that you can mess with. So for fun, let's just grab this, slide this over. We'll call this goal, and our goal is, I think it's 60.641. Boom. Control C. I'm just going to plug that in so you see how it starts changing the goal. Let's get a little bit bigger here. Pull this down a little bit. We started in July, August, September. Now there's ways you can grab this. I'm just going to go old school for your guys' sake. November, December, and that looks pretty good. Alright, cool. Let's do a 0.0641. Alright, so what you're seeing here is I'm starting to move this chart. Every time I plug something in, it changes it over here. So this is a whole number, and this is kind of a percentage or half a number or whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to mess with this a little bit more. Now we're going to plug in my new numbers. Alright, so remember a percentage, of course, we know how they work. So we got to move the decimal over 2 places, right? So let's go like this, 0.09. 0.25 for 25%, 0.34, 0.39, 0.42, and 0.5. So now, as you see in my chart, I'm making some ground here, right? So if we're looking at the Gipper year, December, January, February, March, I can almost start to make predictions based off of this, where I'm going to be and how close I'm going to get to making them. So let's go back here, right click, edit data. That will bring that back up for you. Okay, let's go 0.641, 0.641, just to kind of throw it out there and see how close we are at making this. So you can kind of predict that somewhere around January, February time frame, we should be meeting this measure. But there's a lot more we can do with this. So when I click on my plot area, it's kind of giving me some different design options. So I can change the color by clicking that. I can also change the colors of the actual bars themselves. So I can select something a little bit different looking. I can right click in almost any given area, and the older ones you actually can change the number right here. This newer EHR or this newer Office, you kind of have to go into it, which is kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm changing the name, title size, DV screening, change the name. Let's do a little bit more editing. Let's make it a little bit bigger. We'll do the page layout. orientation, landscape. That'll allow us to make it even bigger. And let's change these numbers so that, nobody knows what a 0.2 is anymore. Let's make it nice and easy. Go over here to number. This will show up a little bit different, again, depending on which version of Word, but what we want to do is change this to percentage and change this to 0 decimal spots. We don't need extras, right? Maybe we'll change this font size. Font 9. Let's go with a 12. Make it a little bit bigger. Font size 12, a little bit bigger. Alright, there we go. The only thing I would do is recommend right click, edit data. Let's change this to DV so everyone knows what it is. Alright, there we go. So real quick, you can kind of mess around. It's just basically insert chart and start playing around, and you guys get a good idea how the functionality, and just like that, you got a great chart. You can do a couple of things here. You can take a screenshot of it, or you can just email flat out the whole thing. I like to do a little function alter print screen and take a shot of it, and that way I can crop it in an email and give it out to everybody as a JPEG rather than sending the whole big thing out to them. Alright guys, I hope this helps you and you have some fun and you make awesome charts.